Etapu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, haru nefer, may Buddha bless you. This is Qesankh Keperu with another video for you. In this video, we're going to talk about a really important subject, powerful subject, how to manifest $1 million, the secret key. And this is going to be practical information, and it's going to be rooted in both real world economics and metaphysical principles to get you to the level of the millionaire. Now, before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If you want to know when I upload recorded videos or go live, hit the subscribe button to get notifications. If you're interested in learning more about my spiritual teachings and making more money, improving yourself spiritually, you can download a free ebook. Scroll down to the links below, click on the ebooks, download them right away, and you can start reading them. If you want to follow that rabbit down the rabbit hole, and let me tell you something, those rabbits are very agile. I was in the military. One of the very, very basic things we did was try to catch and skin a rabbit. We had to set traps and stuff in the woods, and it was tough. I couldn't get that little thing, rascally rabbit. Anyway, find that, follow that rabbit down the rabbit hole. Become a Patreon supporter. You can do so for as little as $1, $2, $5, $20 per month. You get exclusive access to instructional videos on the esoteric, videos that will allow you to communicate with interdimensional beings, summon spirits, contact the ancestors, do self-hypnosis to get rid of negative habits like overeating, smoking, not going to the gym. Videos that will teach you how to work with the oracles. And if you're on a SARE level supporter, you get all your oracle readings for free. So become a Patreon supporter today. You can cancel at any time. As I said, you can cancel any time. Now, lastly, share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. Now, how to manifest $1 million. I had a program on this not too while ago, but the oracle said, don't put it out yet. Don't put it out yet. So I didn't. I'm holding on to it. Maybe in the future I'll put it out when the oracle says it's okay. But there's some principles around magic and manifesting money that I've learned over the years that I want to give to you outside the program. It's very important that you listen to me and understand what I'm saying, because I'm not going to be talking about the law of attraction and visualization. I'll bring you the money, because that's a bunch of BS. I'm going to give you some real hardcore stuff. Some of it you may like to hear, some of it you may not like to hear. And we're going to take a look at a quick case study about manifesting money. But the one thing I want you to understand is there are many magical books out there on manifesting money. Aleister Crowley, one of the greatest magicians ever, aside from those that existed in ancient Kemet, manifested lots of money. In fact, he inherited a lot of money from his family. And he's a good case study as well. When he died penniless. And on his deathbed, he said, I'm confused. I don't understand. And the reason being is because many of us don't understand, coming from the magical background, the spiritual background, the principles that surround money manifestation. And one of the basic principles, if you're not an initiate or a high-ranking magician, is that easy come, easy go. You will manifest money doing your ritual, a secret mantra that you got from India, which is what I did. And then you'll find that you'll come into a whirlwind of money, and it will go so quick in very strange in ways. You may manifest, let's say, for example, you manifest a lot of money, you buy a Rolls Royce, but then you crash the Rolls Royce, you hit somebody and they sue you and they take $2 million from you. That's how it works. You may manifest $500,000 and then suddenly get into legal fees and have to pay $300,000. Because the magic is not balanced, it's not stable. There's a bad karma behind it. And this is typical with those in the occult community who learn money manifestation. I remember the high priest in our temple asking me, what do you want? You want the power of the magician, or you want $1 million in your pocket? And I was like, I want the power of a magician. He says, why? Because I know if I have a power, I can always manifest how much I always want. And he was like, good answer. While many people, so greedy, would just want the money in their pocket. Now we know that a lot of the white psychologists and sociologists studying black people and their mindset know that we come from Africa, which is an abundant mindset. So we have vegetation that was readily abundant all year round. So we had no need to save or worry about a cold winter. So we were always focused on the immediate. And this is how they would get a lot of sports athletes. They would be like, listen, I can give you 5 million in 2 years, or you can take this 2 million right now. And they would always take a 2 million right now instead of the 5 million, and they would blow it. And this is especially important to when I came into windfall of money. If you've never had a lot of money and you come into a windfall of money, you'll spend it all quickly. I mean, seriously quickly, and wonder how you did it. And if you don't have good financial advisors around you, and most times you won't, they'll mess you up. Now, through working with certain deities, and you'll need to start working with a particular deity that will bring you wealth. And there's mainly 2 of those deities, 3, not a minor one, but there is one that will help you, which is, the first of all is Ma'at, governed by the Jupiterian energy, which is money, wealth, grand wealth. And then there is Heteru, which is fortune. And then you got Sebek, is entrepreneurship and money and things like that. And then you have Geb, Seb. But there are a lot of deities and sigils that, if you use properly, will grant you money. There are also spirits out there who will readily work with you to give you money. Now, you don't have to sign your soul away. If you start doing that, you're dealing with demons. So we're not even going there. I want you to understand that. We're not going there. I don't want you working with demons, and that's not it. But I want you to understand something, that it is not difficult to manifest money. The difficult part is to manifest a lot and to keep it. Because the universe is intelligent. It knows the tests to put you through and what to do. It will let you have the money, but then ruin your life in its place. This is why when you get to the higher levels, the upper echelon of magic, you now know how to keep the money. You now know how to balance your life through Ma'at, so the money doesn't come and go quickly. I still struggle with, I manifest a lot of money, but I'll go and I'll spend it. I'll spend it like crazy. Johnny Depp and his wife, or former girlfriend, Amber Heard, had that problem. She said he just spends money. And usually that's because you're trying to fill an emotional hole. But if I get bored, I go, let me go buy something. And that's the problem. When you have it, you can buy it. And you don't want to do it. Now, I'm going to give you the secret key to manifesting $1 million, the secret key. And it's not complicated. There's no big ritual around it. But the question is, how badly do you want it? How badly are you willing to dedicate yourself to maybe a year to receiving $1 million and doing it in the right way so the $1 million doesn't come and go? You will be surprised at how quickly you can spend $1 million. You will be surprised. And what I see is mistakes that I have made, which is people will get $1 million and they'll buy an extravagant home or something. And I'm like, you can't purchase things because that money is not being replenished. Unless you have a legitimate business that generates residual income for you, or passive income for you, or a business that you're working, money is just going out and nothing's coming in. And many people who win the lottery or horse races or whatever, forget that. They'll get the check, they'll get the bag, and they'll just start spending like crazy, never realizing there's nothing generating more money. You don't have a business. You don't have an enterprise. And your magic is not going to work again because the spirits, you're going to, the energy that you use to manifest the money in the first place, where it was easy come, easy go, is going to repeat itself. You'll get more money and it'll be gone, and it'll even be worse. So you've got to learn the principle of karma, balance, ma'at, to keep the money. Now, Heteru is fortune. Fortune can be very well off, but what you want is the ma'at money. That's a lot of money, but it's money that comes with understanding the greater good of the world, and that's what we're going to be focused on here. Now, as I said before, there are secret Hindu mantras and rituals. I had to buy special, like really, really exotic Hindu black magic books to get this secret and this knowledge. But it doesn't do any good, because if you're not aware of the principles that govern this, you're going to just get some money and lose it all and mess your life up. So keep that in mind. Now, these principles will work. They don't require you to be spiritual. You know, we used to see that, you know, like some of these people would preach, you got to be spiritual to be a millionaire. So practice very, very high ethical, spiritual principles. But yet we see Bill Gates, Elon Musk, these are not ethical, moral men. Steve Jobs, these are not ethical, moral men. But yet they've accumulated billions of dollars just because they're working with spiritual forces. They're working with pendulums, ergobores, to amass the money. Mark Zuckerberg, these are not moral, upright people. So I want you to understand that the energy is neutral. The energy is neutral. It will assist you if you call upon it and you do it in the right way. This is why I say Aleister Crowley at the end of his days said, I'm confused. All the magical practices and things that he did, and he still didn't understand this simple fact, that although he had magic to manifest money, he didn't understand karma and balance. So he would manifest the money and it would go very quickly. And it kept happening until eventually he was broke. But if he followed the principles, the secret key, which I'm going to give to you, the money would have stayed and kept coming, because ma'at is consistency. Let me say that again. Ma'at is consistency and reciprocity. As I said, I can give you the ritual right now, and you'll go out there and you can manifest what you want, $1,000, $2,000. That's easy. That's easy. But I guarantee you that thing will go so quickly and you'll be more in debt. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful. This is why you have your bling bling rap stars make all this money, and it goes so quick. They burn out like a candle. 30th hexagram of the I-ching. They burn out. The money goes because they don't understand karma. And I'm not saying karma in the sense is do unto others that is do unto you and be good. That's not what it's about. Because I told you, some of the most sinister people in the world have amassed billions and trillions of dollars. Let's understand how the hierarchy works. You have your billionaires, your Soroses, your Musks, your Zuckerbergs, and then you have your trillionaires, which encompass the ruling elite, the Illuminati, who hides behind the windows, who hides behind the veil. They are your trillionaires and gazillionaires. And I'm not kidding. They're filthy, filthy, filthy rich. They make Jeff Bezos looks like he's on welfare. No joke. And much of what they're doing in the world is not in the headlines. So I want you to understand, not that I don't want you to do good, be spiritual. Yes, I do. I want you to live by the tenets of Ma'at. I want you to be spiritual. But I don't want you to think that because you may have left work an hour early, that now the money won't manifest. It's not going to require you to be some super spiritual being. Look at the pimp pastor ministers, Joel Osteen. TD Jakes. They're corrupt, but they're making millions of dollars. It's because they tap into an energy. The energy is neutral. It's not going to say, hey, man, you must be an angel before I can grant you money. You must be heavenly before I can grant you money. It doesn't say that. It says, listen, you chant this, you do this on this day, and the money will manifest. Now, what you do with it is up to you. You don't even have to be altruistic. You can just keep it all to yourself, but it will disappear quickly. Understand that. Now, the way we're going to manifest this money is you have to understand this. The first problem that we get into is that people lock it and tie it to something, which is not, it's not a bad thing. I mean, that's what we've been taught from, like The Secret, Law of Attraction, Oprah, and all her nonsense, because she's full of nonsense. But you don't want to attach the money to something at this early stage because you don't know how it will manifest. You see, allow the money to manifest in the best way possible for your scenario, for your situation. If you say, well, I got a hair care business and I want the money to come to the hair care business, well, now you put parameters on how the money can manifest. So that means that for you to shift to that parallel reality where you are a multi-millionaire hair care specialist will take some time. Rather than you just telling the universe, listen, manifest the $1 million in the best way possible that will serve me. And then before you know it, you end up with a tech firm. You inherit a tech firm that's worth millions. But if you walk around talking about, well, I want to be a superstar rapper with millions of dollars, well, the universe is going to take some time to align all that, which could take 15, 20 years. So just tell the universe, listen, bring me the $1 million in the way I need it, and that the way it will stay and help others in my path. So don't tie the $1 million, even particularly to a business you're doing at this point, because you don't know if that's the business you should be doing or if it's the business the spirits want to support. Not that you should just stop doing the business. Don't do that. But you need to go to the oracle and ask the oracle, first of all, if this is the business I should be in. Go to the oracle and say, is this the business I should be in? And the oracle says, yes, continue. But that doesn't still mean that you're going to get millions of dollars out of the business. And even if you ask the oracle, will I get $1 million out of the business? The oracle won't tell you. Because the oracle says you should do the business for the sake of doing the business and not for what you're getting out of it. In my personal workings, I found that Secret and Heteru can yield a big bang type cash flow, but you've got to be willing to be serious work. That is absolutely true. Secret is hard work. Secret is no joke, but it's balanced by Heteru is play. And I'm going to tell you something too. This is a great synchronicity because many, many years ago, back in 1998, I was going to be writing for a sitcom called Third Rock from the Sun, or The Big Bang Theory. And I was remember saying, I like those shows. And you just said Big Bang. And I was like, oh, Big Bang. I remember I was going to write for that show. So anyway, Second is making money, but very, very hard work. Very hard work. But she's balanced by Heteru. So they complement each other because Second is internal, very introverted, and Heteru is very extroverted, harmony, social, fortune, and things like that. But Second doesn't care about money, though. So that's the one thing you have to keep in mind with that. So anyway, I have friends who are magicians who do weekly money magic rituals just to make sure they're making a certain amount of income. And that's great. But what we're going to be talking about here is making $1 million. And I always set that because I like the millionaire mindset. When I first started out, I read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Great book. I was very influenced. But then a good friend of mine, his name was Morales, passed on a book called Happy Pocket. And that cleared a lot of stuff up for me. So check that book out. It's online. It's called Happy Pocket. It's a really sensational book. You can get the audio version. It really deals with the metaphysics of money. All right. So Check that out. Yeah, I was a writer for Third Rock from the Sun, and I'll be honest, I wasn't good. I wasn't good. So it didn't last long. I had some problems with it, and they had to, like, I first started out writing the episodes myself. They brought in a co-writer, and he had problems. So it was interesting, but it wasn't like I was really good at sitcom writing. I was better at feature film writing. And my agent was ICM, International Creative Management, one of the top agencies in LA. And they only did television, so I didn't have a theatrical agent, and that was a problem. So I was stuck in television. But anyway, I digress. So where was I? So the first thing is, don't tie it to a particular business or a particular man. If you want to marry a man who's wealthy, and just say, look, bring the best wealthy man. It doesn't have to be Jeff Bezos. Because I know some of you ladies, nothing wrong with that. Looking for a wealthy man, nothing wrong with that. And let me tell you something, this whole spiritual thing. There's nothing wrong with you wanting money. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to be rich. That's why we have the gods there. That's why the deities are there. That's why Ma'at governs wealth. You can't have a deity that governs wealth and think that God doesn't want you to be wealthy. That's stupid. When I was first starting out, let me tell you something. We grew up in Fluvanna County, Virginia. Very, very poor. Me and my brother were raised on a corn farm, delicious corn, fresh corn. And it was so hot back then, and you would just walk around barefooted because there was red mud. And if the red mud got on your sneakers or shoes, it would never come out. So you would walk around barefooted. And sometimes you would have to walk around down to the road to the general store. And that could be at least like a quarter of a mile. So you're walking on the hot gravel to that general store to pick some stuff up for the family. And I remember when you talk about poor, growing up then, we had an outhouse, and what else did we have? Old stove, outhouse, old stove. I forgot the other, and a well, and you have well stuff down there. And many people even today are living like that. But we enjoyed it. We're out there, and used to come into the house. Well, we had to clean our feet from all the red mud off our feet after we go get something, and mother would cook. But I want you to know, like, the level, and then you guys don't know poverty. Here you can run out there and you can get a PlayStation, and you can get anything cheap at Walmart. When you're in the South, in that age, there's nothing. You know what we would play with? We would play with twigs. We would take the woods and bugs and play with them. No toys, no nothing. It was nothing but forest land. If you want to really get exciting, play with the cow manure. There was only one interesting thing that we had that we liked. I remember next to us, there was a pig farm. I hated that pig farm. I absolutely hated it. I hated those stupid pigs. They were dirty. But we lived next to, one of the houses, it wasn't even really, I'll be honest, it wasn't a house. It was a shack. I remember what it looked like, too. It was weird. Really bad, really bad. Was next to, I think, a Coca-Cola factory. And the only good thing about it was we would walk down the road to that Coca-Cola factory or whatever it was. It was like, I remember what it was. It was, God, what's it called? It's a soda that's only sold in the South. It's not Coca-Cola. I forgot the name of it, but it's only sold in the South. And it tastes like root beer. Damn, what's the name of that? I forgot. But they don't make it anymore. But we would go down. But I think it was owned by the Coca-Cola company. We would go down there, and they would give us as much as we want. So we would drink that. But you had to walk all the way down there. And then when you get down there, you're so tired, you don't want to walk back. You just sit there and drink the bottles, and you can't carry all of it with you. Oh, Mr. Jib, is it? Mr. Jib? Or I forgot what it was called. Yes, Mr. Pibb. Mr. Pibb. You got it. Yeah, Mr. Pibb. That's it. Yeah. And let me tell you something. Those things taste different back then than they do now. So they've changed the formula. So anyway, my point being is that there's real poverty. And it never traumatized me. It wasn't like I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna grow old, I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna get millions. No, it didn't bother me. I enjoyed it. I understood the situation. Me and my brother had a wonderful time, except in that damn heat. And we were, because we're on a corn farm, we couldn't afford pesticides. So those bugs, you have never seen some bugs that I have seen on the corn. We would have to pick that corn, and me and my brother would catalog these weird ass bugs. And we're like, we need some pesticides. One time I remember it was so hot, my mother was fanning us when we were sleeping. And she was really upset because the heat was so bad because you didn't have air conditioning. Deep South, poor. But we had it was great. It was a wonderful childhood. But I digress. When I started getting into priesthood, I thought the way to make money was just magically, right? So I started experimenting with that. And as I said before, just going back over my point, it came easy and it went easy. So then I saw the pattern. It wasn't like somebody told me, oh, this is what's going to happen when you start manifesting money. No. It started happening in my life. And I kept saying, why every time I get the money, it goes quick? Why every time I get the money, there's something comes up like a bill or something? And then I was like, aha. And I'm going to tell you a little secret that, I wasn't immune to this myself. A lot of us are, especially people of minority persuasion, are uneducated when it comes to managing money. Like there have been situations where I have received money, but could have received a lot more if I had just been cool, calm, and collect. And we're not like that. Let me say it again. There have been situations where I received money, but I could have received at least 3 times more if maybe I had waited, been calm about things. But we're not taught that. It's like playing poker in a way. We're very emotional. And when you're emotional, you make hyper decisions. I'm going to go over a case study right now. I want to show you this woman that was written up. I saw the program that I think it was Ivana Van Zant did on her. And very, very sad story. She's a woman that won $188 million in some type of Powerball lottery. Her name is Marie Holmes. $188 million. You'll find out that when this lady won the lottery, her luck seemed to turn into trouble. If you had one wish, what would it be? Probably a good number of people would choose to win the lottery. With all that money, it is sure would be great to buy a new house, drive a fancy car, and own a private jet. Now, she won this money a while back. So this is an older story, but it's going to basically illustrate my point. The stars lined up in 2015 for Marie Holmes, a poor single mother who won the North Carolina Powerball lottery that was worth a cool $188 million. However, after a series of events that cost Holmes a lot of both financially and emotionally, she may have wished that she had never won the lottery in the first place. Now, I want you to know that this article, I'll make it available to you, is full of propaganda. It tries to make her seem like a good person. This woman is a failure. She's a disaster, and she's not a good person. And I can say that with confidence because we'll look at her actions after winning that money. Nobody deserved to win the lottery more than Marie. See how they have to spin this propaganda and play her up because she's a single mom and make it seem like she's a fighting single mom. Well, if you're a single mom with 4 kids by different baby daddies, you've made bad decisions. You're not somebody that we should be inspired about or looking up to. At the time, Holmes was a 26-year-old single mom who worked 2 jobs. Well, you're going to have to work 2 jobs if you're having babies by multiple men to support her 4 children. It was difficult to work at both McDonald's and Walmart, but she did whatever it took to take care of her children. So why are you at the age of 26 years old only qualified to work at a McDonald's or Walmart? You're a failure. You should have gone to school. You shouldn't have been having these babies. But anyway, I digress. I don't want to seem like I'm angry, but I don't like the article trying to sympathize with her and make her seem like a victim. Shortly before Holmes hit the jackpot, she had to leave both jobs as one of her children was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy. Caring for 4 children is tough for any couple, especially if one of them has a debilitating disability. But for a single mother, the pressure was nearly unbearable. But where are the fathers, though? Why are they not being held accountable? Because she picked Dusties. She picked men that didn't want babies and didn't care for her. And she went ahead and just had the baby, even though she has 33 forms of birth control. All she wished was to take care of her children, and now she wasn't able to hold on to her job to provide for them. One lucky day, her wish came true. In February 2015, the North Carolina Powerball lottery was at $564 million, so she got herself a ticket for a few dollars at the local gas station. Not long after she got back to her trailer, she found out that she held the winning ticket. Boom. When asked how she felt after winning, Holmes said, "I thought I was going to have a heart attack when I saw the ticket and checked it because 2 other people also had winning tickets. Holmes only won a third of the jackpot, so she had to split that with 3 people." Not so fast. What is the most you have ever won in a lottery? $50, $100? Because the vast majority of lottery wins are nothing life-changing. The Lottery Commission authorizes the places that sell lottery tickets to pay winnings of up to $599. All big winners, such as Marie Holmes, who had just won $188 million, need to go through a long process to claim their winnings. Lottery winners need to fill out paperwork to verify the magic ticket. Then there is a waiting period for the funds to be dispersed. And lastly, winners need to decide whether they want the money in a lump sum or receive installments over 30 years. Now, notice that. Do you want a lump sum or receive installments over 30 years? There's where it starts. Despite the lump sum being less, according to experts, it makes financial sense to take the whole lump sum provided and invest it, because when interest, it would be more profitable over a 30-year period than it would of the lottery commission. That's true. Since Holmes decided to take the lump sum, she received $127 million instead of 188. All right. Red flag right there. You're only getting 127 million out of your 188. Let's go on. Still, from nothing, the 127 million isn't bad, even though it is a $51 million difference. That is a bad difference. But hey, okay. Little did Holmes know that deductions didn't end there. Lottery winnings are taxed as if they were income. Oh, crap. Both on the federal and state level. On lump sums, the state of North Carolina takes 5.8% on the federal tax. The federal takes a minimum of 25%. Woo! Sometimes they can take up to 39%. Oh my God. If the winnings qualify for the tax bracket, depending on how much Holmes was taxed, she may have to pay up to $50 million in her winnings. Holmes pledged to donate money to her church. Now, here we go with the nonsense. Donating to a Christian church diametrically opposed and was responsible for the enslavement of African people, but we're going to go on. Move out of her trailer to a proper house and set up college funds for her children. Holmes told NBC News, now she talks about a college fund for her children. All right, whatever. Holmes told NBC News station after winning, all that struggle that I went through, it was all for them, all for her children, really. I want them to understand that money doesn't change you, but it can help you. It's a lot of times that press people write this nonsense. Holmes was described as a person who understood the value of the dollar according to her friends and family. After all, she was a single mother who worked 2 jobs at McDonald's and Walmart to support her 4 children. You mean she was a failure working 2 jobs because she slept with dusty men, had babies she couldn't afford, and it kind of set her up for poverty and the children for poverty. That's the real interpretation. Nobody thought that she would take it for granted, but the person who everyone believed deserved it the most soon would be the one everyone turns on. Again, this article is slanting the truth to make her seem like an angel, a poor single mom. who wins the lottery. Everyone wants to take advantage of her. Let's continue. Holmes understandably had to do things that benefited herself and her children's standard of life. What standard of life? But there were some various dubious decisions that she made her go down the wrong road. Read that again. But there were some various dubious decisions that she made that made her go down the wrong road. Bail. The frivolous spending began when she bought her boyfriend, Lamar McDowell, a $15,000 diamond lace Rolex. What seems like a penny in the bucket to the amount she won was actually the tip of the iceberg of what her boyfriend ended up taking from her. McDowell only had $100,000 in his bank. McDowell only had $100 in his bank account when he was arrested in 2014, and now he had a girlfriend who had the ability to bail him out no matter the cost. She spent $15,000 on a diamond lace Rolex. Note how she didn't buy her children anything. They didn't talk about, well, did she get her children some nice clothes, put them in private school or private tutoring? No, the first thing she did was buy this dusty man with a criminal background a diamond lace Rolex. Let's go on. Denying the allegation that Holmes spent $21 million on his bails. So she bailed this man out, spending over $21 million. Not on her children, on this dusty man. McDowell said, so many people are going on that she paid $21 million to get me out of jail, but that ain't true. It's just 10%. Whatever, still a lot. Now, here's the home she bought. Now, I think this is the home she bought. Yeah. You can't buy homes like this because your money is not being regenerated. There's still, even if you buy the home, you still have expenses. The report also shed light on how many homes actually received, how much money Holmes actually received from the lump sum that she decided to take. After taxes, she received $88 million. Oh my God. Okay, so you minus that 100 million, now she only has 88 million, which is a far-fetched from the original 188 millions that she won. Again, for someone that comes from rags to riches, 88 million is still a mind-boggling amount of money, but Holmes would soon learn that a loss of $100 million makes a big difference. Of course. Can I borrow some money? What happened next is unsurprising. After Holmes became famous for her lottery winners, friends, family, and many others were calling her for handouts. That always happens. The jealous people will call you. They'll try to mess things up with you. After all that, what's $10,000 for a good friend or a new home for an aunt that brought you favorite toy in preschool? Okay. The couple was constantly beleaguered for their money, even though their friends and family were coming to her with good intentions. It got to the point every time McDowell fielded a call, Holmes would say to him, when money comes, there are more problems. How right is she was. Wrong neighbors. Okay, remember she bought that house? Oh, here's the house. I'm sorry. Here's the house. Or is it? I'm not sure. After the big jackpot win, Holmes and her boyfriend, who were persons of color, moved out of their trailer home into a very expensive home in an affluent white community neighborhood. Sadly, racial prejudice is still alive and well in the world, and the couple was constantly harassed by the neighbors, both subtly and not so subtly. The neighbors aren't racist. You see, when you have a wealthy community, they have to look out for the community. And if you're moving in there with your dusty boyfriend, who you had to pay $21 million to get out of jail, why wouldn't they be suspicious? Why wouldn't they be worried? That's not racism. And why would you move to an affluent white neighborhood when there's so many beautiful affluent black neighborhoods? Your fault. One neighbor set up a camera to record everything we were doing. If I was driving down the road and going at the speed limit, they would wave at me for going too fast. They did not want us there. They were prejudiced. No, I wouldn't want you there too, you and your criminal boyfriend and your dusty boyfriend. Tied to the church. The Pleasant Hill Missionary Baptist Church was Holmes' sanctuary ever since she was a kid. She took the church's teachings to heart and tried to exemplify them. Oh my God, they're just really trying to make her seem like an angel. They took the church's teachings to heart. They took the church's teachings to heart. Oh my God. They took the church's teachings to heart. So then why did she have premarital sex? Why did she have 4 babies by different baby daddies if she took the churches? If she was really a good church-going woman, why did she have all these children out of wedlock? Why did she marry a baby daddy? Because she's such an angel. She's a struggling single mom. Let's continue. This is like propaganda, man. That's all this is, just propaganda. She took the church's teachings to heart and tried to exemplify them in her daily, day-to-day life. To display her gratitude to God and the church, Holmes pledged 10%, also known as a tithe of her winnings, to charity. 10% to Crooked Church. Perhaps if Holmes was able to claim her winnings anonymously and kept her secret for charitable donations, then no one would have been able to take advantage of her good heart. Oh, her good heart? Really? Let me explain something. When you come into money, one of the first things you should do is start looking at a mate. I call it upscaling. Get somebody who is at least on your level, preferably higher, who will help you, work with you, educate you, and you two can build together. You don't stay in the same circles as your dusty boyfriend who's rusted on drugs. You can get a better man. Leave the old life behind. Leave those dusty, crusty, no good men alone. Unlike other states, all big lottery winners' names are published for the public record in North Carolina by law. Getting the ball rolling. 10% of $88 million is a lot of cash. Yeah, does she even know? And even the noblest institutions could use the staggering amount of money for unnecessary things. Still, Pleasant Hill Missionary Church Baptist Church was a strong pillar in her life, and according to a press release, the first thing she promised was to tithe or give 10th of her winnings to charity. Why would? Well, that's a financial advisor saying for tax purposes you need to give some money away. To get things started, she donated $700,000 to the church that she and her family had gone to for years. The church used the money for long overdue needed repairs. Yeah, right. Pastor named Kevin Matthews, who was not affiliated with Pleasant Hill Missionary Baptist Church, here it goes, started to get involved with Holmes and her family. Even though they did not know him before they won the lottery, the pastor claimed that God led him to them. They believed and invited him to their home for minstrel services and to help McDowell make a better life decisions. There's this crafty, no good guy. Pastor Matthews felt comfortable enough to ask Holmes for $1.5 million, there you go, to help him build a retreat. The pastor says that even though the agreement was never put in writing, Holmes did agree verbally to give him the money. Rather than wait, Pastor Matthews went on to build the retreat with his own money. Pastor with a lawsuit. Pastor Matthews came out publicly with the intentions to sue Holmes for $10 million. Where he got that figure from remains a mystery, considering the resort cost only $1.5 million. It's clear, though, that he was trying to get a large portion of the 10% of Holmes' winnings that was promised to her church and the various other charities. Considering nothing was put in writing, Kevin Matthews did not have much of a case. Because of the emotional distress and mental stress they put me through, I had to start taking more medication for anxiety, depression due to situations. When the story hit the headlines, the public was outraged at the nerve of the greedy pastor who was going after a noble church-going woman. People called out the funster for what he was, and even a YouTube published series of videos titled F You Kevin Matthews. And most probably any sane lawyer wouldn't take up the case because there was no written contract between Holmes and Pastor Matthews. Dubious that pastor refused to give the lawyer's name to the reporter because the motion hasn't been completed. Sadly, it seems that the greedy pastor just wanted to vilify Holmes. What came out next in the news headlines was much more devastating to Holmes and her 4 children. Somehow it was discovered that her ex-convict boyfriend was cheating on her, reports kept creeping in that Holmes chose to pay off McDowell's mistress. Look at this. Reports kept creeping in that Holmes chose to pay off McDowell's mistress instead of kicking him to the curb. A video went viral on Facebook where an unnamed woman claimed that not only was McDowell cheating on Holmes, but he was also taking money from her to pay for sexual favors from other women. These are the men she's surrounding herself with. These are the men she was associated with. These are the men she had children with. None of this money seems like it's going to the 4 children. It takes an incredible person, whether rich or poor, to pick themselves up when misfortune falls. Despite all the wealth and the negative headlines, Holmes found the strength to not give up. The lottery window turned to an inspirational woman to help her take control of her life. Van Zandt can't do anything for her. With her life spiraling out of control, Holmes made an appearance on Ivana Fix My Life talk show. The show can be found on Oprah's network, blah, 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 blah. This goes on, showing the dusty men she's hanging out with. Not even a year passed, and he was arrested again that July. Once again, her kind heart bailed out the gang member. Oh, he's a gang member too, for a $6 million bond. Can you believe this? Instead of changing his behavior, McDowell continued to cheat on Holmes and use her money for his exploits. Instead of learning from his mistakes, Hot Sauce was arrested. That's his name. Hot Sauce was arrested for a 3rd time. The 3-time convict was not happy that his girlfriend was being bashed in the newspapers for posting his bail 3 times. McDowell told the Daily Mail, "We are a couple and I am the father of her youngest child." See, one of the fathers. This woman cannot pick a man. And she's trying to say that the neighborhood that she lives in is racist. No, you have a 3-time convicted felon hanging around. This is what people do for each other. She has the money and she can do what she wants. Instead of her upscaling, she could be with CEOs, businessmen, and she's hanging with this gang member, drug dealer. But anyway, I don't want to go into any more of this because she made bad decisions. Says the promise fulfilled. Despite questionable decisions on her part, Ms. Holmes still kept her integrity. She fulfilled her promise of giving 10% of her winnings to various charities. The only reason she fulfilled that for tax purposes, which equated to $9.7 million. Part of the tide money was used to set up a charitable foundation in North Carolina called the Marine Homes Foundation. All right. This was back, I think, in 2015. Mindset, her mind is gone. Her priorities aren't there. It's not a poverty mindset. She wasn't raised right. Her mother was angry, and I think her mother tried to sue her, but her mother raised a bad young woman. Didn't take care of her children, went out there and just had babies by dusty criminals. So it's not a poverty mind. That's not poverty mindset. She's just not a good person. Exactly. Like if you're moving into an affluent community, the Wandering Sage, and you got gangbangers and drug dealers as boyfriend, and their names are Hot Sauce, who wants you in their neighborhood? What HOA wants you in their neighborhood? Of course, they're going to videotape you. Of course, they're going to follow you. You're bringing a criminal, syndicate into a very wealthy, affluent neighborhood. That brings down property value. It does a lot of things. Everybody, please hit the like button and donate to the channel if you're in a position to do so. I want you to understand that the getting the money will come. And there are many magical techniques that you can use to get the money. But I'm going to give you now that secret key I was talking about, because I don't want to keep you guys too long today, to manifest $1 million. Now, one of the things, we went over step 1. One of the things, step 2, I want you to keep in mind that you have to give this time. You have to give this time. Remember, you are shifting to a parallel reality, one where you're already a millionaire. And in order to do that, you must understand that currently you are in a hypnosis state. And there are many, many different states. There's a poverty state, there's a wealth state, there's a love state. The thing that you need to do is focus on embodying the feeling of being a millionaire, of not necessarily seeing you with the money. That's great too, but you must embody the feeling of being a millionaire. And carry that feeling until it takes you to a deep state of trance. Follow me here. This will move you from like an alpha to a theta state. Now, the importance in that is that these states will shift you to the new reality slowly but surely. Because when you deny the current reality around you, in spite of what the evidence presents, like saying, oh, I'm struggling with bills, I don't have money, I don't have this, I don't have that. When you are in your trance state, alternate state of consciousness, excited about your current reality that you believe is one where you're a millionaire, you're communicating to the universe, I don't want my old reality. I don't want my old reality. And the more you focus on the fact with the belief that you are currently a millionaire, and if you hold that for a year, the universe, it communicates a very firm sign and symbol to the universe to shift you to the new parallel reality. See, the universe is set up where if we, whatever we wanted, if we emotionally embodied it and we shift to that reality, there will be chaos. So the universe needs to confirm that this is the reality you want by you through repetition, consistency, ma'at. You've got to repeatedly embody the mindset of the thing that you want by being the thing that you want. Yes, I could give you the mantra, I could give you the meditation technique, but it's more important for you to embody the mindset. I point to a very, very good film, Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. Wasn't a very attractive man, but in his mind, he was attractive and he shifted to a reality where every woman wanted him. Even though he had rotten teeth, he wasn't with the times. He was able to get any woman he wants because he knew the secret that the mind has to go first. There's what we call as time dilation. When you look at the reality around you, the light takes time to reach your iris. And inside your mind forms the reality. So what you're seeing in your reality is a delay, time dilation. When you exist in 5D, internally, whatever it is you imagine, instantaneously manifests. But that's 5D. So in 4D, which is 3 dimensions of space and 1 of time, you must give it time to manifest, the time dilation factor. So what you're seeing all around you is the past. It's not the present. And to communicate the present and manifest the present, you need to think about, how do you feel as a millionaire? What do you do as a millionaire? You don't have to go out there and start spending money. But you got to embody the feeling. And you've got to not worry about it coming. Don't constantly looking for it to be coming. Where is it coming? How is it going to manifest? Embody the feeling for a year. Focus on it. And you must have the joy, excitement. Now, again, we're not attaching it to any one business or thing or how it could come for you working at a 9-to-5 job. They promote you CEO, making $1 million salary plus bonus. Stock options as well. Don't limit it. Now, here's the final secret. The secret key that you won't find in many magical formulas and books. Remember, hit the like button and donate to the channel. Here's the secret key. And for this, you must understand what happened with Hitler in Nazi Germany. You see, Hitler was an occultist, an evil man, a very evil man. But he understood something magically that allowed the German people to rise up to become a superpower. That there are spiritual entities, there are needs in the people. The masses of the people have a need. If you can tap into that need and fulfill that need, their energies will support you and propel you to heights. Do you understand that? That's a magical formula. Here's the secret. Hitler could not have risen to the power that he achieved if it wasn't for the German people. There was a need that needed to be filled. So because there was that need that needed to be filled, the universe brought about a man's ideology to fulfill that. And for a short period of time, it was successful. But then that need didn't align with the goodness and what the world wanted. So the universe had to get rid of Hitler. Here's the secret. If you want to manifest $1 million or any, you should set the intention to be $1 million. The universe works through sincerity. It works through the heart. The heart is intelligent. The heart is ma'at. Hitler tapped into the heart, the sincerity of the German people. He said the right things. It resonated in their heart. This is the 100 monkey principle. We all come together and we align rhythmically. Women who come together, their menstrual cycles align. All us men will come together, our heartbeat rhythms will align. The universe can support you or wipe you out. If you want to manifest $1 million, set the intention and tie what you want to the greater good of humanity. What do I mean by that? If I say that there is a shortage of water on the planet, and I'm going to create a company that's going to produce water, and I'm sincere about helping people with that, the universe will align to support me to make millions of dollars with that. If it touches my heart, if I am sincere, and if there's a genuine need for it, those are the conditions. There is a genuine need for AI. So there are entities that will support Elon Musk for AI technology, even though it's detrimental to us. And again, it'll be wiped out when the universe finds out that it's not serving the greater good of humanity. But in the interim, it will. There was something that was needed to connect the people of the planet together. So the universe gave us Mark Zuckerberg. There was something as a need to connect all the marketing, products and services. So the universe gave us Jeff Bezos. If you can tap into that genuine need that people desire and want, the universe will have your back. But you have to be sincere about it. You have to want it for the people, and you can't think so much about the return. That is the problem. This is the Ma'at principle. The universe works based on emotion. That's the communication. That's how the universe communicates to you, through emotions and through sincerity. In the Bible, it talks about, I forgot, was a biblical figure. He did a ritual, but he didn't have any money. He had nothing. But the other guy had an elaborate ritual, but God didn't take his offering because it wasn't sincere. Even though he had all this money, it was a nice ritual altar. He took the other guy's offering, which was very, very, like meek and toned down and sparse, because the guy's heart was into it. He was sincere. So whatever it is that you want, tie it to the greater good of humanity and campaign for that. And then ask the universe to support you financially, and you will receive it. As long as you can hold that feeling for at least a year and work on it, you will be unstoppable. Unstoppable, because the universe will not allow you to fail, because the collective consciousness is behind you. The collective consciousness needs it. Now, there are other things that people do that are kind of similar, but they're appealing to the greed of the people, like susus or multi-level marketing schemes. Those are greed-based things. Yes, Lady Marie, I covered that. They are, but I said that the energy will support you, even though you may not have good intentions, but it will eventually wipe you out and put you into bankruptcy. This is why we talk about being balanced, karma, reciprocity, so you can keep the wealth, keep the money. And you also have to keep in mind, I want you to understand something. It is not a principle of Ma'at to hoard money, to hoard resources. So someone rich as a Jeff Bezos is doing wrong, because no one should have that large amount of money. That's hoarding wealth. That's keeping it from and not sharing it. So when you look at these individuals who flaunt money, all about individualism, how much money they have in their banks, what they can do and buy, that's not what you should be focused on. But we're so messed up in this society that it's all about the individual. It's all about the individual. Nothing about making global change. And I'm not saying that you have to get the wealth to start sharing it and giving it to people. That may not be your destiny. God may not want you to share it with people. God may just say, look, take the wealth and be happy. No one said you got to go out and share it with people. That'd be great. But you have to look at your destiny. People think like, oh, well, if I'm coming to money, I got to share and be nice. That's not necessarily true. Look at MC Hammer, had a big entourage, went broke, can't find any of those people. The Oracle would have said, don't share your money with these people. And then he would have been seen like he's cheap, stingy. But no, he's doing the right thing if he had did that. Oracle may want you to put the school together for magicians, a magical school together. You have to be guided by God. But whatever it is you do, don't tie the $1 million to a particular business. And if you want it to come, tie it to an altruistic concern that will improve humanity or improve a group. BLM did that magically, appealed to a select group to rake in billions of dollars. Everybody was so passionate about the movement and was donating. And if you're not donating to this channel, you better think about that. That's not a good way to start. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. This is Qesankh Ma Keperu, son of Ma'at and Tahuti. Ma'at is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next video, Amen Ra.